Sword Art Online, Cornish Saga. Chapter 2, The Beast of Bodmin. In the world of sword art. Online, the Cardinal system was a marvel of artificial intelligence, running the complex virtual world of Aincrad. When Alfheim Online was created, a clone of this legendary system was employed to manage its vast landscapes and intricate mechanics. One of the Cardinal system's most fascinating features was its ability to scour the web for myths and legends, transforming them into immersive quests for players to experience. One such legend, originating from Cornwall, England in 1978, was the enigmatic Beast of Bodmin. This tale of a mysterious panther-like creature roaming the moorlands became the basis for a thrilling quest in Alfheim Online. The archer Piran and his group, Ace the mace wielder, A Crown the swordsman, Spirit the dual-wielding axe fighter, Rose the mage, and Daisy the slingshot wielder, decided to take on the quest. Daisy, a Kate Sith, had been captivated by the legend of the Beast of Bodmin ever since she first heard about it. Her desire wasn't just to hunt the beast, but to tame it. "I want the big kitty," Daisy playfully cried. "I know, Flower, I know," Ace sighed, patting her on the head. The group had been hunting for the beast in the wetlands near the Undine capital without any luck. Their hopes were low, and so were their supplies of crystals and potions. "I really hate to say this, but I think we need to turn back for the day," Piran said, his voice tinged with reluctance. But Kitty," Daisy whined. "Don't worry, Daisy. We're not giving up. We just need to regroup, get more supplies, and maybe find an info broker," Spirit said, trying to lift Daisy's spirits. As they conversed, a group of lizardmen emerged from the marshes, their scales glistening in the moonlight. Without missing a beat, the team sprang into action. Ace swung his mace with brute force, smashing into the nearest lizardman and sending it sprawling. A-Crown deftly parried an incoming strike and countered with a swift slash, cutting through his opponent's defenses. Spirit twirled her axes, unleashing a flurry of powerful strikes that overwhelmed the lizardmen surrounding her. Rose chanted an incantation, her hands glowing with a bright blue light. She launched a powerful water spell, knocking back several lizardmen and creating an opening for Daisy. With precision, Daisy took aim with her slingshot, pelting the lizardmen with enchanted stones that exploded on impact, causing them to scatter. "Keep pushing them back!" Piran shouted, firing arrows rapidly, each shot finding its mark. The coordinated assault quickly overwhelmed the lizardmen, forcing them to retreat back into the marshes. Panting from the exertion, the group gathered together, checking on each other's condition. "Let's head back and restock," Piran said firmly. "We'll return stronger and find that beast." Daisy nodded, determination shining in her eyes. "We'll get the big kitty next time." With a renewed sense of purpose, the group set off towards the nearest safe zone, ready to prepare for the next leg of their quest.
Two friends sit in a pub in the capital of Alfheim.
"Hey man, are you into comics at all?"
Yeah, man, way into them.
"I was, but I just don't have the time for it anymore, with questing and all my duties IRL.
Hold up. Why don't you check out Nerds Through Comics?
Dude, this says Nerds Throw Comics, not Nerds Through Comics."
Yeah, it's a joke that two of the producers had, just ran with it.
Producers?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that Nerds Through Comics is produced by Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger.
Okay, I know that name. Hold on, you said two producers.
Oh yeah, it's part of the Three Ranger Bros studio, run by Cosplay Dude 637, Mark the Red Cornish Ranger, and Tai Tiger.
Did you just say Tai Tiger in Cosplay Dude?
Yeah. Yes, I did. And Mark the Red Cornish Ranger.
I love the stuff they do on their other channels. I didn't know they were part of this podcast studio.
That they are.
Okay, that's Nerds Through Comics, spelled THROW, right?
That's right, you can find it anywhere you get podcasts.
Thanks, man. I am so going to subscribe.
Discover Nerds Through Comics, produced by the amazing team behind the Three Ranger Bros studio. Cosplay Dude 637, Mark the Red Cornish Ranger, and Tai Tiger. Find it on all major podcast platforms. Go and follow now.
Once Piran and his friends returned to Arun, the bustling capital city, they split up to tackle their tasks more efficiently. The city was alive with activity, its streets filled with adventurers and merchants, the air buzzing with the sounds of commerce and conversation. Ace and Daisy were tasked with replenishing the party's supply of crystals, essential for their magical and healing needs. The two made their way through the crowded marketplace, haggling with various vendors to secure the best deals on high-quality crystals. Meanwhile, Acrown and Rose headed to get the party's weapons renowned. Their goal was to ensure their weapons were in prime condition. The sound of hammers striking anvils filled the air as they approached the forge, ready to entrust their weapons to the skilled craftsmen. Piran and Spirit had a dual mission. They needed to procure potions and gather information on the Beast of Bodmin. As they navigated the bustling streets, Piran sent a quick message to Kirito, hoping his new friend could provide some guidance. Moments later, a reply came through. "Seek out an info broker named Argo," Kirito's message read. "She knows more about legends and quests than anyone else." With a clear objective, Piran and Spirit headed to the potion shop, where they restocked their healing and mana potions. The shop was a vibrant place, filled with the scents of herbs and magical ingredients. After securing their supplies, they made their way to the more shadowy parts of Arun, where info brokers plied their trade. They soon found Argo, a well-informed broker who was always ahead of the game. "You're looking for information on the Beast of Bodmin?" Argo asked, her eyes gleaming with curiosity. "I can tell you everything you need to know, for a price." Piran and Spirit exchanged glances, knowing they were on the right track. They negotiated with Argo, eager to learn every detail that could help them in their quest to find and tame the legendary beast. Piran nodded, understanding the game. "What's your price, Argo?" Argo leaned back, considering. "Seeing as you're a friend of Kiriboy, I'll share everything I know about the Beast of Bodmin for the low prices of 10,000 yurd." Piran and Spirit exchanged glances, nodding in agreement. "Deal," Piran said. Argo smiled. "Good. Now listen closely. The Beast of Bodmin is a creature shrouded in mystery. Sightings of it date back to 1978 in Cornwall, England, where it was described as a panther-like creature roaming the moorlands. In Alfheim Online, the quest revolves around similar sightings near the Undine capital's wetlands." She leaned forward, lowering her voice. "The beast is not just a random monster. It has patterns, a territory it fiercely guards. To track it, you must understand its habits. It hunts at dusk and dawn, and its lair is rumored to be in the deepest parts of the marsh." Spirit took notes while Piran listened intently. "Anything else?" Piran asked. Argo nodded. "The beast is incredibly fast and powerful. Standard tactics won't work. You'll need to be clever, use the terrain to your advantage, and most importantly, don't underestimate it. Also, there's a legend that the Beast of Bodmin can be tamed, but only by someone who earns its respect." Piran's eyes gleamed with determination. "Thank you, Argo." Argo waved them off. "Be careful out there. The Beast of Bodmin isn't forgiving." With renewed purpose, Piran and Spirit left Argo, ready to reunite with their team and embark on the next phase of their quest. The hunt for the beast was just the beginning, and they knew the path ahead would be fraught with danger and challenge. But with the right information and their combined skills, they felt more prepared than ever to face the legendary Beast of Bodmin. Once Piran and Spirit had all the information they needed from Argo, they regrouped with their friends at their usual meeting spot in Arun. The bustling capital was alive with energy, but the team's focus was unwavering as they discussed their next steps. We've got a clear path now, Paran said, sharing Argo's insights. But before we head off, let's make sure we're fully prepared. The team nodded in agreement. Paran received a system notification. It was a gentle reminder that it was nearing the time to log off. He glanced at his friends who were also getting similar alerts. All right, team, Piran said. Let's call it a night. We'll continue our quest tomorrow with fresh eyes and full energy. One by one, they logged off, the virtual world of Alfheim Online fading away. Mark slowly opened his eyes, the familiar ceiling of his room coming into focus. The atmosphere deactivated with a soft chime, and he gently removed it, placing it on his bedside table. The clock read 10 p.m., and the streets of Cornwall were quiet under the night sky. Just as Mark pulled off his headset, his cell phone started ringing. He quickly grabbed it, hit the talk button, and put it on speaker. "Hey Bex, what's up?" he answered. "Hey, are you free tomorrow afternoon?" Becky asked, a tone of hopefulness in her voice. "Yeah, I think so. I haven't picked up any shifts yet," Mark told her. As a traveling nurse's aide, he picked up shifts at various places when he wanted to work. "Great. Can we meet up? I really need to talk to you about something," Becky said. "Packet Cafe?" Mark suggested. "Can we hit that new place?" she asked. "You mean Tiger Bro Diner?" Mark asked teasingly. "No, silly, the nice restaurant," she retorted. "Oh, you mean Jim and Billy's Elysian Table?" Mark said, chuckling. "You're such an ass. You knew which one I was talking about this whole time." Becky barked playfully. "Maybe..." "All playing aside, I'll pick you up around 11 a.m. Sound good?" Mark said with a smile. "Perfect. See you then," Becky replied, her tone sweet and relieved.
Kirito, did you hear about that new podcast?
What new podcast, Asu?
It's called the Tiger Nexus Podcast, run by Tai Tiger.
Hold on. I know that name. He's the guy behind Tiger Tales on YouTube, right?
Yep, that's right. And now he's launched his own podcast where he interviews content creators and nerds of all kinds.
No way, that sounds so cool. What's the name of the podcast again?
The Tiger Nexus Podcast. You can find it on all major podcast platforms.
Hold up, he's had Cosplay Dude 637 on there? That's amazing!
I know, right? He's also interviewed A-Crown, Mark the Red Cornish Ranger, and many others.
I am totally subscribing to the Tiger Nexus podcast. I don't want to miss anything.
Tune into the Tiger Nexus Podcast by Tai Tiger for fascinating interviews with your favorite content creators and nerds. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. Don't miss out.
The next day, John and Jessica sat nervously in the waiting room of the fertility clinic, the quiet hum of the air conditioning doing little to calm their nerves. It had been a long journey, filled with countless doctor visits, tests, and moments of hope and disappointment. Today, however, felt different. There was an air of anticipation that neither of them could shake. Jessica squeezed John's hand tightly, her eyes fixed on the door that led to the doctor's office. John gave her a reassuring smile, though he felt the same butterflies in his stomach. They had been through so much together, and whatever the news, they knew they would face it as a team. Finally, the door opened, and Dr. Harris stepped out, her face breaking into a warm smile as she saw them. "John, Jessica, come on in," she said, gesturing for them to enter her office. They sat down across from Dr. Harris, who took a seat behind her desk. Jessica's heart was pounding in her chest, and she could feel John's hand trembling slightly in hers. Dr. Harris opened a file on her desk, glancing at the results before looking up at them. "I have some good news," she said, her smile widening. "Jessica, you're pregnant." There was a moment of stunned silence as the words sank in. Jessica's eyes filled with tears, and she looked at John, who was grinning from ear to ear. "Are you serious?" John asked, his voice thick with emotion. Dr. Harris nodded. "I am. The results are clear. You're going to have a baby." Jessica let out a sob of relief and joy, and John pulled her into a tight embrace. "We did it, Jess." he whispered, his voice cracking. We did it. I can't believe it, Jessica said, tears streaming down her face. After everything, it's finally happening. Dr. Harris gave them a moment to let the news sink in before continuing. I know it's been a long journey, and I'm so happy for both of you. We'll need to schedule some follow-up appointments to monitor the pregnancy, but for now, just take a moment to enjoy this wonderful news. Jessica nodded, her hand still tightly gripping John's. Thank you, Dr. Harris, she said, her voice full of gratitude. Thank you so much. As they left the office, John and Jessica felt a sense of elation and disbelief. They had dreamed of this moment for so long, and now that it was finally here, it felt almost surreal. Outside the clinic, John pulled Jessica into another hug, lifting her off the ground as he spun her around. We're going to be parents, he exclaimed, his eyes shining with happiness. Jessica laughed through her tears, her heart feeling lighter than it had in years. Yes, we are, she said, her voice full of wonder. Yes, we are. Together, they walked hand in hand to their car, ready to embark on the next chapter of their journey. Mark and Becky were seated at a corner table in Jim and Billy's Elysian Table, a restaurant renowned for its elegant ambiance and exquisite cuisine. The soft lighting and gentle background music created a perfect setting for their lunch date. They had just finished their main courses and were waiting for dessert, when Becky decided it was the right moment to bring up the topic she had been contemplating. Mark, Becky began, her fingers tracing the edge of her wine glass. There's something I've been wanting to talk to you about. Mark looked up from his menu, sensing the seriousness in her tone. Sure, what's on your mind? Becky took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. My lease is coming up soon, and I've been thinking about my living situation. Mark's expression shifted to one of concern. Is everything okay with your apartment? It's not that, Becky said, shaking her head. It's just that I spend most of my time at your place anyway. It feels more like home to me than my apartment does. Mark's face softened, and a small smile appeared. Yeah, I've noticed. I love having you over. Becky reached across the table and took Mark's hand in hers. I was wondering, how would you feel about me moving in with you? Officially, I mean. Mark's eyes widened slightly in surprise, but his smile grew wider. Really? You want to move in with me? Yes, Becky replied, her voice steady but hopeful. But only if you're okay with it. I don't want to rush you into anything. Mark squeezed her hand, his expression full of affection. Becky, I'd love for you to move in. I've been thinking about it too, but I didn't want to pressure you. It would be amazing to have you there all the time. Becky's face lit up with relief and happiness. You mean it? Of course I do, Mark said, leaning across the table to kiss her gently. I can't think of anything better than waking up next to you every day. Their desserts arrived, but they were more focused on each other than the delectable treats in front of them. Thank you, Mark. This means so much to me, Becky said, her voice full of emotion. It means a lot to me too, Beck. I'm so excited for us, Mark replied, his eyes shining with joy. As they enjoyed their desserts, they talked about the logistics of merging their lives, from moving her belongings to making space in the apartment for her things. The conversation flowed easily, filled with excitement and plans for their future together. By the time they left Jim and Billy's Elysian Table hand in hand, they were both brimming with happiness and anticipation for the new chapter ahead. At 8 p.m. on the dot, our hero logged on to ALO. Once they had equipped all their weapons, they headed to the wetlands to start their hunt for the beast of Bodmin again. Armed with the new information from Argo, they were able to find the lair of the beast. Okay guys, here's the plan, Piran began. A Crown, Spirit, and Ace are going to play forward. Daisy and I will stay in the back for cover fire. Rose will stay behind us to cast her spells. Once the beast's health is down into the yellow, Daisy will move in to tame it. Ace grinned, gripping his mace tightly. I've been itching for a good fight. Let's give this beast everything we've got. A Crown nodded, drawing his sword. I'll make sure to keep its attention on me. Spirit, back me up with those axes of yours. Spirit twirled her dual axes with a confident smile. You got it, A Crown. Let's show this beast what we're made of. Rose adjusted her staff, her eyes focused and determined. I'll be ready to cast as soon as you need support. Let's be smart about this. Daisy, her ears twitching with excitement, readied her slingshot. I've got your backs. Just get it weak enough and I'll do the rest. With their plan set, the group exchanged determined nods and moved out, ready to face the challenge ahead. The moon hung high over the wetlands, casting an eerie glow over the marshy terrain. The air was thick with tension as Piran and his team made their way through the dense vegetation, every rustle and distant animal call heightening their senses. They moved silently, each member alert and ready for the impending battle. Suddenly, a low growl echoed through the night, sending shivers down their spines. The beast of Bodmin emerged from the shadows, its eyes glowing a menacing yellow. The massive, panther-like creature stood its ground, muscles rippling under its sleek black fur. Here we go, Piran whispered, nocking an arrow and drawing his bow. Let's do this! Ace roared, charging forward with Acrown and Spirit flanking him. The beast snarled and leaped toward them, its claws gleaming in the moonlight. Acrown met its charge head-on, his sword clashing against the beast's powerful limbs. Spirit moved with lightning speed, her axes slashing through the air, striking the beast whenever it exposed a weakness. Ace swung his mace with brute force, aiming for the beast's head. The impact sent a shockwave through the air, but the beast quickly recovered, swiping at Ace with its massive paw. Ace dodged, but not before receiving a glancing blow that knocked him back a few feet. Rose now! Piran shouted, releasing a flurry of arrows aimed at the beast's vital points. Rose chanted an incantation, her staff glowing with a brilliant light. She cast a powerful binding spell, momentarily trapping the beast in place. It won't hold for long! Hit it with everything you've got! The team unleashed their full arsenal, attacking the beast with relentless precision. Acrown's sword slashed through its defenses, Spirit's axes struck with deadly accuracy, and Ace's mace landed crushing blows. Piran's arrows pierced its hide, and Daisy's slingshot delivered a barrage of explosive projectiles. As the beast's health bar dipped into the yellow, its roars became more desperate, its movements more erratic. It lashed out wildly, breaking free from Rose's binding spell and launching itself toward the group. Daisy, get ready! Piran yelled, drawing his bowstring back one last time. With a determined nod, Daisy began casting her taming spell. As the beast lunged, Piran's arrow struck it squarely between the eyes, momentarily stunning it. Daisy stepped forward, her hands glowing with magical energy as she chanted the taming incantation. A soft glow enveloped the beast, its roars slowly quieting as the magic took hold. The beast roared one last time before collapsing to the ground, its body shimmering with the light of the taming process. The team held their breath, watching as the light faded, and the beast slowly stood up, its eyes now calm and gentle. Daisy approached it cautiously, extending a hand. The beast of Bodmin nuzzled her hand, a sign of its acceptance and submission. We did it, Daisy whispered, tears of joy streaming down her face. We tamed the big kitty. The team erupted in cheers, the tension of the battle melting away into relief and triumph. They had faced the legendary beast of Bodmin and emerged victorious, their bond stronger than ever.
What you have just listened to is a product created by the Three Ranger Bros Studio.
Hosted by three cosplaying fathers who
happen to be massive geeks of all sorts of fandoms.
They are Mark, the Red Cornish Ranger,
Cosplay Dude 637,
and Tai Tiger.
The studio covers different types of YouTube videos, TikToks, podcasts, and live streams.
If you wish to find out who cosplays who, the YouTube channel, the TikTok accounts, and the podcasts, and all of the other social media platforms,
please go to the 3rangerbrostudios.com.